स्वागत है प्रोग्राम दे विच। असीं अज प्रोविंशियल इलैक्शनस राइडिंग डिबेट 2017 जिहड़ा कि रैड FM वालों करवाया जा रहा सरी दियारिया बैंकट हाल दे विच उत्थे हाज़र हाँ ते लाइव ये सारा डिबेट तुहानूं असीं दिखावांगे। तैयारियां चल रही ने हॉल दे विच। थोड़े ही समय दे विच जिहड़े कैंडीडेट पहुँच जांदे आ ते उन्हां दी उसे जिहड़ा साडे कोल योजनाबद्ध तरीके दे नाल ਉਹ डिबेट होएगी। साढ़े नाल ने गुरप्रीत सिंह सहोता प्रसिद्ध पत्रकार ने, चढ़दी कला के संपादक ने। गुरप्रीत जी बहुत बहुत स्वागत है।
जसकरण जी तुहाडा थैंक यू जी। ते नाल ही चैनल पंजाबी देख रहे समूह दर्शकों नूं प्यार सत्कार भरी सत श्री अकाल जी।
जी असीं गुरप्रीत जी गलबात कर रहे सी कि जिहड़े डिबेट का रुझान आ इत्थे पश्चिमी मुल्कां दे विच बड़ा एक चंगा रुझान आ, इहदे बारे तुहानूं की लगदा कि इहदी किन्ना कुछ फायदा जां किन्ना कि इहदा जिहड़ी एक सार्थक लोगों की समझ बनती है इहदे नाल?
देखो जो असीं चैनल पंजाबी ते गल कर रहे हैं तो असीं जिहड़े पंजाबी साडे दर्शक है उन्होंने केटर कर रहे हैं इस वेले। तो पंजाबियों के वास्ते जिहड़ा ये डिबेट का रुझान है कोई बहुता पुराना नहीं, क्योंकि जित्थों असीं आए हैं उत्थे ये जिहड़ियां सभावां मौजूद नहीं सीगियां। उत्थे चोण प्रचार करन दे ढंग तरीके होर ने। लोकी जिहड़े सीगे 4-5 साल दे जिहड़े उन्हां दा पिछला काम कीता उह तों जांचदे सी। पर इत्थे जिहड़ा पश्चिमी मुल्कां दे विच चाहे आपां इंग्लैंड की गल कर लईए, आपां हुणे बीते दे विच अमरीका दे विच देख हटे हाँ, तो इसे तरह आपां कनेडा दे विच देख रहे हैं। ये डिबेट्स का रुझान जिहड़ा हैगा आ बहुत पॉपूलर हैगा आ। इहदे विच की है कि लोकां नूं पता लग जांदा कि एक तां लीडर आमो सामने हो जांदे आ, ਉਹ ਆਪਣੇ ਸਵਾਲ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਆ ਸਿੱਧੇ ਤੌਰ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਆ ਇੱਕ ਦੂਜੇ ਨੂੰ। ਤੇ ਦੂਜੀ ਗੱਲ ਇਹ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ ਕਿ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਇਹ ਜਾਚਣ ਦਾ ਮੌਕਾ ਮਿਲ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਕਿ ਕਿਹੜਾ ਲੀਡਰ ਕਿੰਨਾ ਚੇਤਾਨਿਆ, ਕਿੰਨਾ ਰਿਬਟਲ ਕਰਦਾ, ਕਿੰਨਾ ਜਵਾਬ ਦੇਣ ਦੀ ਸਮਰੱਥਾ ਰੱਖਦਾ ਜਾਂ ਕਿੰਨਾ ਹਾਜ਼ਰ ਜਵਾਬ ਆ। ਜਾਂ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਉਹਨੇ ਬੀਤੇ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਾਰਵਾਈਆਂ ਕੀਤੀਆਂ, ਚਾਹੇ ਉਹ ਸੱਤਾਧਾਰੀ ਧਿਰ ਨਾਲ ਸੰਬੰਧਿਤ ਆ ਜਾਂ ਵਿਰੋਧੀ ਧਿਰ ਨਾਲ ਸੰਬੰਧਿਤ ਆ, ਉਹਨੂੰ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਡਿਫੈਂਡ ਕਰ ਸਕਦਾ। ਜਾਂ ਉਹਦੇ ਕੋਲ ਕਈ ਵਾਰੀ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਦੇ ਮਨਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਵਾਲ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ ਕਿ इस लीडर ने आ काम गलत किया होया, पर कभी भी लीडर की नहीं गल सुनी होंगी उन्होंने। सो उस वे लीडर की गल सुन लेंगे तो इस दे नाल जिहड़ा वो फिर उन्हां लई ये कह लो फैसला करना सौखा हो जाता कि हाँ वो वोट उन्होंने पाउणे चाहुंदे आ जां नहीं पाउंदे, जां वो लीडर उहदी वोट का हकदार हैगा कि नहीं जी।
जिहड़ा सरी न्यूटन इहनूं कहा जा सकता कि लंबी दी चोण
बिल्कुल जी,
जिथे गुरमिंदर सिंह प्रहार लिबरल वालों ते हैरी बैंस जिहड़े कि पुराने MLA ने NDP वालों पुराने सियासतदान ने, इत्थे भी बिल्कुल पैनोरामा वर्गी एक पासे NDP के बड़े हंडे हुए सियासतदान पुराने सिटिंग MLA ने ते दूजे पासे गुरमिंदर सिंह प्रहार सियासत दे विच नवें। मैनूं लगदा ये जिहड़ी सरी न्यूटन की राइडिंग है, एक तो पंजाबियों की वसों, दूजा ये राइडिंग किते ना किते पूरे प्रोविंस के इलैक्शन नूं भी इंडीकेट करेगी कि ये किधर नूं जांदी है। इहदा किते ना किते भी इंडीकेशन मिलूगी कि पूरी प्रोविंस का जिहड़ा रिजल्ट आ वो किस पासे जांदा। की कहने हो इस राइडिंग बारे?
सरी न्यूटन जिहड़ी राइडिंग एक इहो जी राइडिंग है जी जिहदे विच कि मेजोरिटी पंजाबी ने जी। सो इसे करके जिहड़ा पूरा ध्यान सिर्फ यही नहीं कले BC का बल्कि पूरे कैनेडा का लग्या होंदा कि ये राइडिंग जिहड़ी आ इहनूं कौन जितदा हैगा। जिवें तुसीं दस्सिया कि लंबी दी चोण वांगू हुंदी आ, ਉਹਦਾ एक कारण ये भी है कि हैरी बैंस इत्थों लगातार जितते आ रहे हैं जी। उन्होंने लिबरल पार्टी वालों ਅੱਡ ਅੱਡ बंदे जिहड़े आ शंगार के लिआंदे आ। कई बारी डैनियल गाली होना वर्गे, वकील विरक वर्गे, तो वो हैरी बैंस के अगे टिक नहीं सके। ਉਹਦੀ एक वड्डी जिहड़ी रीजन है, ਉਹਦਾ कारण एक ये है कि एक तो हैरी बैंस हुणी लोगों के नाल बहुत नेड़ियों जुड़े हुए आ। वो हरेक ते दुख सुख दे विच जां जो कोई काम हुंदा उहनूं लैके तुरे रहिंदे आ।
मैं गुरप्रीत जी तुहानूं रोक रहा इस गल ते, जिद्दां तुसीं जिक्र कीता कि लंबे समय तो लिबरल पार्टी कोल वख-वख भलवान अखाड़े दे विच आए पर चित होकर चले गए। पर मैनूं लगदा जिहड़ी टक्कर इस बार गुरमिंदर सिंह प्रहार दे रहे हैं NDP नूं जां हैरी बैंस उहनां नूं, ये टक्कर भी शायद पहलां किसी ने नहीं दित्ती।
इस विच काफ़ी हद तक सच्चाई है जी। उसदा कारण ये है कि बेशक गुरमिंदर प्रहार उन्हां दा कोई पोलीटिकल जिहड़ा कैरियर इत्थे नहीं हैगा, पर उन्हां दा एक वड्डा ही क्लाइंटेल, एक वड्डे ग्रुप दे नाल नाता ते वख-वख जिहड़े छोटे-छोटे ग्रुप जिहड़े कि पहलां उल्ट चोणां लड़ चुके हैं, हैरी बैंस होना ना जां उन्हां दे लिबरल दे समर्थक ने, वो सारे एक मत ने जी, एक मुठ ने इस वारी। तो इस तो इलावा जिहड़ियां कबड्डी क्लबां ने जां धार्मिक सोसाइटियां ने जां होर संस्थावां ने, उन्हां दे विच भी उन्हां दा काफ़ी आधार आ। हालांकि कई जिहड़ियां संस्थावां इहो जिहियां ने जिन्हां दी आपस विच नहीं बनदी, पर वो दोवें संस्थावां नूं अपने नाल जोड़न दे जिन्हां दी आपस विच नहीं बनदी कामयाब होए आ। सो इस करके थोड़ा जिहा कोई मुकाबला जिहड़ा आ टफ लगदा जी। बाकी एक आज़ाद उम्मीदवार भी इस बार इस हल्के दे बलप्रीत बल जिहड़ा वो अपनी किस्मत आजमा रहा। वो भी एक सरकार दा परिवार जिहड़ा हैगा जी इत्थे कम्यूनिटी दा उहदे नाल संबंधित हैगा। उन्हां दीयां भी काफ़ी जिहड़ियां वोटां हैगियां, उसने किहड़ियां वोटां नूं नुकसान करना ਉਹ ਹਜੇ ਇੱਕ ਸਵਾਲ ਹੈ ਜੀ ਕਿ ਉਹ NDP ਦੀਆਂ ਵੋਟਾਂ ਭੰਨਣੀਆਂ ਉਹਨੇ ਜਾਂ ਉਹਨੇ ਲਿਬਰਲ ਦੀਆਂ ਵੋਟਾਂ ਭੰਨਣੀਆਂ। ਸੋ ਉਹ ਵੀ ਇੱਕ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਵਾਲ ਹੈ। ਇਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਇਹ ਰਾਈਡਿੰਗ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਚੋਣ ਆ ਉਹ ਕਾਫੀ ਦਿਲਚਸਪ ਅਤੇ ਟਫ ਰਹਿਣ ਦੀ ਸੰਭਾਵਨਾ ਆ, ਅਤੇ ਹੁਣ ਤੋਂ ਹੀ ਜ਼ੋਰ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਉਹਦੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਪੂਰਾ ਲੱਗਿਆ ਹੋਇਆ ਜੀ।
ਬਿਨਾਂ ਸ਼ੱਕ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ NDP ਦੇ ਹੈਰੀ ਵੈਂਸ ਆ, ਪੁਰਾਣੇ ਸਿਆਸਤਦਾਨ ਆ, ਲੰਬੇ ਸਮੇਂ ਤੋਂ MLA ਆ, ਤਜਰਬਾ ਕਾਫੀ ਆ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ। ਹਾਂਜੀ, ਜਿਹੜੀ ਇੱਕ ਐਂਟੀ ਇਨਕੰਪੈਂਸੀ ਵੋਟਿੰਗ ਆ ਉਹਦਾ ਅਸਰ ਕਿੰਨਾ ਕਿ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿਰੋਧ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਾਂਦਾ? ਲੱਗਦਾ ਕਿ ਲੰਬੇ ਸਮੇਂ ਤੋਂ ਇਹੀ ਬਣੇ ਨੇ, ਕਿਤੇ ਨਾ ਕਿਤੇ ਲੋਕ ਬਦਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ।
ਇਹ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਸ ਵਾਰੀ ਚਰਚਾ ਚੱਲ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ ਜੀ ਕਿ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਹਰ ਵਾਰ ਹੈਰੀ ਵੈਂਸ ਨੂੰ ਜਿਤਾਇਆ, ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕਿ ਆਲਵੇਜ਼ ਵਿਰੋਧੀ ਧਿਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ, ਅਤੇ ਹੁਣ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਇਹ ਗੱਲ ਲੱਗਣ ਲੱਗ ਪਿਆ ਕਿ ਐਤਕੀ ਸ਼ਾਇਦ ਆਪਾਂ ਦੂਜਾ ਬੰਦਾ ਜਿਤਾ ਕੇ ਦੇਖੀਏ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕਿ ਸੱਤਾਧਾਰੀ ਧਿਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੋਵੇ, ਜਾ ਕੇ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਸਾਡੀ ਆਵਾਜ਼ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ ਉਹ ਉੱਥੇ ਪਹੁੰਚਾ ਸਕੇ, ਬਜਾਏ ਕਿ ਹਰ ਵਾਰ ਅਸੀਂ ਵਿਰੋਧੀ ਧਿਰ ਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਬੰਦਾ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਜਿਤਾਉਂਦੇ ਹਾਂ। ਸੋ ਇੱਕ ਵੱਡੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਗੱਲ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ ਜੀ ਉਹ ਇਸ ਵਾਰੀ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ, ਅਤੇ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਦਾ ਮਨ ਦਾ ਪ੍ਰਗਟਾਵਾ ਕੀ ਆ ਇਹ ਵੋਟਾਂ ਦੇ ਦਿਨ ਪਤਾ ਲੱਗਣਾ ਜੀ।
ਜੀ ਦੋਸਤੋ, ਅਸੀਂ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਜਾ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਸਟੇਜ ਵੱਲ, ਅਤੇ ਡਿਬੇਟ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਹੋ ਚੁੱਕਿਆ, ਉਹਦੇ ਵੱਲ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਹਾਂ, ਫਿਰ ਦੁਬਾਰਾ ਆ ਕੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਫਿਰ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ। ਹੁਣ ਜਦ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਡਿਬੇਟ ਦਾ ਆਨੰਦ ਮਾਣੋ ਜੀ ਲਾਈਵ।
Channel Punjabi is doing a live broadcast of this debate. This debate is a great opportunity for you, the voters, to see where your political candidates and future representatives stand on the issues that are of utmost importance to you. It is also a great opportunity for you, the candidates, to elucidate where you and your party stand on issues that are of concern to the voters in your riding. We will start by singing Canada's national anthem. I would like to invite Vancity's Parveen Narotham to take lead on O Canada. Everyone, please stand and join in.
O Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all thy sons command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Thank you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for coming and joining us. This is a real test of democracy where people can directly ask questions from their candidates or future representatives. And as it has been told, it's being broadcasted live on television, Channel Punjabi, and radio, and Facebook. So people who are listening, they can become part of it. They can come and join here. And I fully understand that you are familiar with the rules and the guidelines of the debate today. Let's not waste any time and start. First debate will be from Surrey Guildford. I would like to invite Mr. Gary Begg and Mr. Amrik Singh Virk to the stage, please. My first question is to Mr. Begg. Mr. Begg, in the event you're elected and your party forms the next government, would you support a second new hospital?
Thank you for the question. It's important that we put everything into context here. There is no doubt that the hospital in Surrey is underfunded and overutilized. I have many friends who are doctors and nurses who daily tell me of the issues that they face trying to practice medicine in the hallways of Surrey Memorial. So I want us to at least acknowledge the tremendous work that we're asking our hospital staff to do. They are the champions of medicine, but I think they're being forgotten by the BC Liberal government. If you've ever been to the Guru Nanak Emergency Center, the emergency room, you know of what I speak. It's tough to be there, waiting up to 10 hours for treatment. I recognize and acknowledge that there has to be a priority system of dealing with patients, but 10 hours is a long time. You will all recall that many years ago, the BC New Democrats set aside a parcel of land specifically for a hospital, and that parcel of land was sold off at fire sale prices by the BC Liberal Party. So here we are, some 16 years later, and nothing has improved. Do we have a plan right now for another hospital in Surrey? We acknowledge that there is a tremendous need. And as we move forward into the future, we must begin to plan for that second hospital in Surrey. It's long overdue.
Mr. Wirk, you have been on the board of Surrey Rural Hospital.
Your time's up.
So I think you fully understand the problems of the hospital. Are you in favor of a second new hospital in Surrey?
Well, Harjinderji, as you said before, I spent many, many years on the Surrey Memorial Hospital Foundation, and the one thing we did was lobby for healthcare. And part of that lobbying for healthcare resulted in a $560 million new critical care tower, where we have university students learning right there, where you have access to healthcare, where you have one of the largest emergencies in Canada. And also part of that foundation, we raised funds aggressively and worked with provincial government at the time. And I was a volunteer as a police officer, but also the Jimmy Pattison also opened at the same time. But if you look across the province, 7 new hospitals, 10 additions, new buildings, 11 new towers, a doubling of medical positions. And if you want to put that in contrast, you know, my colleague talks very eloquently about that, but the NDP did not put 2 bricks together. In the 10 years they were there, they did not build a single hospital. Now they'll put all sorts of promises. They may even promise 2 hospitals. Why not 3 while they're at it? We are very committed to improve health care in this province. We're going to continue to do so, and we are absolutely in support of additional health care facilities in Surrey, and we're going to continue to do so. But there's one way to do so. You build a strong economy. You have money in the bank. And when you have a strong economy and money in the bank, you can invest in healthcare, not the opposition who are pulling money out of a magic money tree.
And Mr. Wirk, my second question is to you that Portman Bridge is in your riding. Drivers using the bridge detest that toll fee, and your party has announced capping the toll fee for $500 annually. But why not abolish it completely?
Well, Harjinder, when the bridge was built, many will recognize when you had trucks lined up for kilometers spewing toxins into the air in my own riding, and people wanted an alternative. Well, the alternative was many, many kilometers of improvement of highway and a multi-billion-dollar investment on budget and on time. And of course, my colleague sitting right here in the audience opposed it, has spoken against it over and over and over again and said no to the bridge, no to the bridge, no to the bridge, and voted against the budget. That the bridge was built because community wanted it. But the community also said work on the tolls. And I was able to take that back to cabinet, and we were able to find that we had money. We had some money saved up to reduce it to a $500 cap, not for one bridge, but for all tolls. But as expected, the opposition said, free. Well, I am waiting for what's free next. Is it going to be free ice cream next? What is going to be free next? But how do they intend to pay for it? How do they intend to pay for it? Will be increasing your taxes? Will they increase in your business taxes of the businessmen and women that are sitting here? Will they increase the corporate taxes of the men and women sitting here and the men and women listening out there in the public? How do they intend for their lavish promises that they continue to throw out?
Mr. Beggs, your party has announced they're scrapping the toll on bridges, but political experts are asking how would you pay for it? I understand that the Prosperity Fund will run out in 3 years, and what will happen after that?
Well, first of all, we have to make it very clear that we think making life more affordable to British Columbians should be a priority of government. And here south of the Fraser, particularly, we've been paying a penalty simply for living here. We have been paying, our citizens have been paying every day to transit back and forth across the bridge. So we did commit to removing the tolls from the Portman Bridge, and we did commit to making use of the fund that you talk about to pay for it, and that's a reasonable thing to do. Why should we be penalized? If you traveled to Kelowna, I was there this summer and traveled on a great new bridge, I didn't have to pay a toll. It's about fairness. It's about making life more affordable. Free means that we will pay for it. It doesn't mean, like Mr. Virk would have us believe, that there's a magic machine from which we get money. We do it like every other government does it. It's been proven elsewhere to work. It'll work here as well. And the citizens of Surrey and those south of the Fraser will applaud that.
Mr. Biggs, I have another question. The South Asian parents are concerned that marijuana legalization will lead to the increase in consumption of pot. As a former RCMP officer and a political candidate, how would you address the concerns of the parents? It's for Mr. Begg.
So at the beginning, I guess it's important to acknowledge that this is one of the pet projects of the Liberals under Justin Trudeau. He has this bright idea that we should legalize marijuana. And my expectation is that his friends in the BC Liberal Party are in support of that, and they will ignore all of the issues that may arise because of it. And to date, there's been no indication that they've done any of the homework that is required, while we, of course, sent 2 senior members of cabinet to visit those places where marijuana legalization is already in effect, so we can effectively deal with the outcomes of marijuana legalization. Can't hide your head in the sand and pretend that it's not happening. We know July 1st, 2018, marijuana will be legal in Canada. So the onus is upon us to ensure that we come, as a province, up with ideas about how we're going to do that. It's not incidental that we know that Surrey had 58 shootings last year, many of them connected to the drug trade. This is an opportunity here in British Columbia for us to come up with a tailor-made solution to the problems that keep marijuana away from our youth and our homes and communities safe.
Mr. You have been an RCMP officer. It's interesting that both these candidates are former RCMP officers, and they are both opposing each other's. And can you tell us that what will be your strategy in order to address that concern of the parents?
Well, Harjinder, we weren't always opposing each other. I was Gary's commanding officer for many years, and Mo wrote his assessments for many years, and in fact, recommended him for promotion even. So we weren't always opponents. But Harjinder, Gary's been somewhat disingenuous to suggest that the BC Liberal government in British Columbia was complicit. This community here does not support use of drugs. The federal party, the federal Liberal Party, has decided to legalize marijuana. We, as a provincial government, understand when you have federal legislation, we have 3 goals. How do we protect and keep marijuana from going to our children? How do we protect profits from going to gangs? And how do we set up within whatever that legislation is passed to ensure that the appropriate sale of marijuana is legislated and regulated appropriately? Of course, what the NDP has already done, they've already met secretly with the marijuana industry. They've already met with the BCGU and got their support in selling marijuana in liquor stores when the experts say, do not co-locate. We will set up an expert panel made up of health experts, medical experts, public safety experts, who will advise us, not politicians, but experts will advise us on how to ensure that we get pot and marijuana out of the hands of children, away from gangs, and will protect the public and make sure that there's safe driving on the streets as well. Experts will do that, not politicians.
Mr. Virk. Mr. Virk, you sit in the cabinet, you sit in the government. This government has promised over the last 5 years that they were going to come out and have said that they've came out with 10 balanced budgets. If you've balanced the budgets, how is it that our government has put us another $41 billion in debt? You've borrowed $25 billion from BC Hydro. You've allowed BC Hydro to be broke, and now they're looking for huge increases from the ratepayers in order to put infrastructure in place. You took $1.4 billion from ICBC.
What's your question, sir?
My question's going to be, it'll be there, $1.4 billion from ICBC. Now you're looking for a 41% increase in ICBC rates. When the NDP put those programs into place, they were Crown corporations, it was a non-profit, and it was to supply the people of British Columbia with affordable rates. Your government has put us $41 billion further in debt.
Could you say your question?
Yes. How is it that you can come out and tell the people that you guys are fiscally responsible and yet create a $41 billion debt in the last 4.5 years?
Well, sir, I lost almost your question and all your commentary, but you know, if anybody was to read any literature, you'll find that when the NDP was in power, a decade of disaster. A decade when 50,000 people left. I was in Alberta, I was a police officer, and I felt quite at home. All my neighbors were British Columbians. They had fled the NDP province here. The highest unemployment rates, the lowest employment rates. And it was incredible. It became from a have province to a have-not province. We have had many, many balanced budgets. I'm very proud of that. When you have money in the bank and you can invest in the services that people expect and deserve. But at the same time, when you build infrastructure, the NDP did not build a single hospital. I think they built a dam. They helped build a dam, guess where? Pakistan. Not in Canada, somewhere else. They built some ferries that would sink the moment they landed on the water. Built absolutely nothing. And when we have a government that has balanced budgets, you can borrow at low rates. You can build dozens of hospitals, dozens and dozens of bridges, thousands of kilometers of highways. That's what you can do. That's what we have done, and is done within a balanced budget.
Mr. Whip, you can present your closing remarks.
Thank you, Mr. Thind. My dear friends, and to all those listeners there, you're faced with a choice. You're faced with the most important choice you have made in your lives. I'm Rick Verk. I'm running in Surrey-Guildford. You know my background. You know my service. But here's the choices that you are making. You see two leaders, one constrained and professional, and best able to lead us in turbulent times around the world, that has the ability to deal with leaders, that has the ability to deal with budgets, that has the ability to show leadership in those times. And what you see also from the opposition is saying yes to anything that comes their way. It's unfounded, it's unaffordable, and it will bring ruin to this province if you vote NDP. So ladies and gentlemen, make the right choice for your children and for the future.
Mr. Beggs, your turn for the closing remarks.
Thank you, and thank you for hosting this event tonight. With voting starting this weekend, the time to elect a government that works for you is here. It's time to have a group of people to represent you who have a moral compass and who have a vision for this province. I'm a dedicated public servant with nearly 40 years of experience. As an inspector here in Surrey, as a district commander, I worked with leaders from across our region to solve tough problems at the local level. This election is about who you trust to look out for you and your family. John Horgan and the BC NDP are that team. Now is the time to create a better BC.
Gentlemen, thank you very much for your participation.
Thank you.
And now we're going to start, thank you. We're going to start the next debate, and in a few seconds,
ਗੁਰਪ੍ਰੀਤ ਜੀ, ਜਿਹੜੀ ਇਹ ਅਮਰੀਕ ਵਿਰਕ ਤੇ ਗੈਰੀ ਬੇਕ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਡਿਬੇਟ ਸੀ, ਕੀ ਰਹੀ, ਕੀ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ?
ਇਹ ਡਿਬੇਟ ਬਹੁਤ ਦਿਲਚਸਪ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ ਜੀ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਦੋਵਾਂ ਨੇ ਇੱਕ ਦੂਜੇ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਤਾਬੜਤੋੜ ਹਮਲੇ ਕੀਤੇ ਆ। ਇੱਥੋਂ ਤੱਕ ਕਿ ਆਡੀਅנס ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਸਵਾਲ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸੀਗੇ ਉਹ ਵੀ ਕਾਫੀ ਵਾਜਬ ਸੀਗੇ। ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹਸਪੀਟਲ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਹੋਈ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਦੂਜਾ ਹਸਪਤਾਲ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਆ ਉਹ ਬਣਨਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਕਿ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਰੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, ਦੋਵੇਂ ਉਮੀਦਵਾਰ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਆ ਕੋਈ ਸਪਸ਼ਟ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰ ਸਕੇ, ਗੋਲ-ਮੋਲ ਜੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰ ਗਏ ਆ। ਜਿਹੜੀ ਗੱਲ ਪੁੱਛੀ ਗਈ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਪੈਸੇ ਕਿੱਥੋਂ ਆਉਣਗੇ, ਕੋਈ ਮੈਜਿਕ ਟਰੀ ਹੈ ਜਿਹੜਾ, ਕੋਈ ਪਲਾਨ ਹੈਗਾ, ਦੋਸ਼ ਲਾਏ ਗਏ ਆ ਅਮਰੀਕ ਵਿਰਕ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਕਿ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਕੀਤੀਆਂ ਜਾ ਰਹੀਆਂ ਕਿ ਪੈਸੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਕੋਲੇ ਆ ਜਾਣੇ, ਪਰ ਆਉਣੇ ਕਿੱਥੋਂ ਪੈਸੇ, ਇਹ ਵੀ ਸਵਾਲ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕਾਫੀ ਵਾਜਬ ਸੀਗੇ। ਬਾਕੀ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਫਾਰਮੈਟ ਤਿਆਰ ਕੀਤਾ ਗਿਆ ਉਹ ਇਹ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਇੱਕ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਉਮੀਦਵਾਰ ਆ ਉਹਨੂੰ 2 ਸਵਾਲ ਪੁੱਛੇ ਜਾ ਸਕਦੇ ਆ। ਸੋ ਇੱਥੇ ਦੇਖਣ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਇਆ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਚਾਰੇ ਦੇ ਚਾਰੇ ਸਵਾਲ ਸੀਗੇ ਉਹ ਅਮਰੀਕ ਵਿਰਕ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਸੀਗੇ, ਗੈਰੀ ਬੇਗ ਨੂੰ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੇ ਸਵਾਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਪੁੱਛਿਆ। ਉਹਦਾ ਕਾਰਨ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਕਿ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਵੀ ਕਰਕੇ ਹਟੇ ਆ ਗੱਲ ਕਿ ਅਕਸਰ ਸੱਤਾਧਾਰੀ ਧਿਰ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਆ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਸਵਾਲ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਕੀਤੇ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਆ। ਤੇ ਹੁਣ ਇਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਫਰੀਦਕੋਟ ਹਲਕੇ ਦੀ ਆ ਉਹ ਡਿਬੇਟ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਹੋਣ ਜਾ ਰਹੀ ਆ ਕੁਝ ਹੀ ਮਿੰਟਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, ਜਿੱਥੋਂ ਕਿ ਆਪਾਂ ਜਗਰੂਪ ਬਰਾੜ ਅਤੇ ਪੀਟਰ ਫੈਸਬੈਂਡਰ ਦੇ ਵਿਚਾਲੇ ਮੁਕਾਬਲਾ ਦੇਖਾਂਗੇ। ਦੋਨੇ ਹੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਤਕੜੇ ਸਿਆਸਤਦਾਨ ਨੇ ਜੀ।
Please come in and have some seats. There are lots of seats available.
Round 1. Questions from the moderator.
My first question is to Mr. Fassbender. There's a growing concern amongst the residents of Surrey whether light rail transit is the best solution. Similar transit system in Calgary and Edmonton has failed. And people of Surrey want SkyTrain instead of LRT. You have been the minister responsible for TransLink. So what is your take on this?
Well, I think there's 2 answers to that question because we're talking about a 27-kilometer system. The city of Surrey, for many years, the councils have advocated for light rail in the city core. And the reason they've done that is to build a community where people can gather, where they can have the kind of amenities that they want. So they very clearly are looking for that. And I advocated at the cabinet table to support, and we came out as a government to support at-grade rail in the city core. The extension to Langley is another issue. And right now the due diligence work is being done by the technical experts of the city and also of the Ministry of Transportation and my ministry, previous ministry. And they are looking at how the system needs to tie into the regional system. Because in reality, there are more people that are looking at Surrey for future jobs because of our strong economy. And the city of Surrey is becoming an economic hub. So that work will be done. So initially we have, and I have advocated for what the city of Surrey has asked for, and that is at-grade rail down 104th King George Highway out to Newton.
Mr. Broward, in 1985, your party started the SkyTrain. That's been a legacy of your party. What is your opinion on replacing LRT with SkyTrain?
Well, thank you, Harjinder. Thank you for the question. My party fully supports the public transit. And I know, probably many of you know that there is a 10-year plan developed by the mayor of the Lower Mainland. And Mr. Peter Fassbender has been the Minister of TransLink, and he has constantly refused to fund more than 33% of provincial share for that. And it was the local mayor, they don't have the capacity to fund 33%. So that plan has been there, but BC Liberals have refused to fund that for the last 16 years. And they went to referendum, which was, of course, said no by the people. But when Trudeau came into power, he said he's going to bump his share from 33% to 44%. And our leader made the announcement 4 months ago that we are going to bump, if NDP comes into power, from 33 to 44% to fully fund the 10-year plan. But this minister and BC Liberals refused at that time, and they said the only way NDP can fund this, they have to raise your taxes. But now, 2 weeks ago, minister said the same thing. Now they don't have to raise taxes. So this light rail, Harjinder, is a proposal by the local city of Surrey, supported by the Prime Minister of Canada, and then certainly supported by us.
Now you can ask a direct question to Mr. Fassbender.
I can ask him a question. Do you want to ask me a question first?
No, you're going to ask me.
Please ask the question.
Just give me 1 second. Mr. Fassbender, you have completely failed to represent the people of Surrey. Completely failed to represent the people of Surrey because you live in Langley and your heart is in Langley. You have failed to implement the joint action plan for the trucking industry. You are bringing Uber, an American company, through the back door that could kill thousands of full-time jobs in the local taxi industry. Are you taking away the business from small businesses, handing it over to the big corporation who fund your election campaign?
Well, I really appreciate the question because it is so far off the truth of who I am. Even when I was the mayor, of the city of Langley, I was the chair of the Mayor's Council for Transportation. I advocated for Surrey. I advocated for all of the south of the Fraser region. I stood up every day, and I can tell you, one of your colleagues, Mayor from Burnaby, is the one who was always against anything that I was advocating for, because you know why? Because we in Surrey built a system that is benefiting his community. He's raking in millions of dollars as a result, and he's saying they don't need it out there. Let's not build anything else. That's the NDP philosophy, and I can tell you this. That everything that I've ever done, everything that I've ever done has been for this community, even when I was serving as the mayor of another community. And you know what, Mr. Brar? The bottom line is, your heart is where you put your effort, and it doesn't matter where you live.
Okay. Mr. Fassbender, now you can ask a direct question.
There was nothing about taxi.
Hold on. Stick to the format, please.
Mr. Brar, you and I were on a radio debate this morning, and I asked you a direct question. When I defeated you in the last election, you were hired by the United Steelworkers of America. You were put on salary, and then you were seconded to the NDP to work on their behalf. You even, I think, ran for the president of the NDP. You didn't win that. And I guess what I'm asking you is what I asked you this morning. Number one, is that true? And I think you said this morning it was true. But more importantly, do you agree with the president of the United Steelworkers of America when he stood beside Donald Trump and said that Canadian industry, forest industry, the dairy industry, are people that are being disingenuous, not being fair to the United States? Do you support that, seeing that you've had your salary paid by the United Steelworkers of America? And here's the other thing. We declare all of our donations. I hear about it all the time. I never saw you or the NDP declare what was given, over $600,000 in one donation, and your salary being paid by them.
Well, I'm not here to take lecture from liberals about the donations. There are 2 RCMP investigations going against these people about donations. 2 RCMP investigations going against them. And you are giving me lecture about donations. We have put forth a bill in the legislature 5 times. 5 times, I'm answering the question. We have put forth the bill in the legislature 5 times to ban both union and corporation donations. You oppose it, Mr. Peter Fassbender. You opposed it. Now my question to your answer. My answer to your question. I am proud to work for an organization based in BC that represent or stands up for the working family of BC, particularly for good benefits and good wages. I'm proud to do that. But Mr. Fassbender, you are representing the interest of Uber, an American-based company, my friend. That's what you have been doing for the last 2 years. That's the interest you have been representing for 2 years, and not listening to a lot of people here from the taxi industry. And the plan you put forth, what was written to you by the Uber, and that's what you have done. And they are based in America. They are based in the same country you mentioned just a few minutes ago.
That concludes the second round.
ਫਲੀਟ ਫੁੱਟ ਦਾ ਡਿਬੇਟ ਦੇਖਿਆ ਜਿਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਲਿਬਰਲ ਤੇ ਐਨਡੀਪੀ ਪੀਟਰ ਫਾਸਟਬੈਂਡਰ ਤੇ ਜਗਰੂ ਬਰਾੜ, ਔਰ ਇਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇੱਕ ਖਾਸ ਗੱਲ ਸੀਗੀ ਕਿ ਜਗਰੂ ਬਰਾੜ ਹੁਣ ਸਿੱਧਾ ਇਹ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਪੀਟਰ ਫਾਸਟਬੈਂਡਰ ਨੂੰ ਜਾਂ ਲਿਬਰਲਸ ਨੂੰ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਿਰਫ ਟੌਪ 2% ਲਈ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਦੇ ਹੋ ਤੇ ਸਮਾਲ ਬਿਜ਼ਨਸ ਨੂੰ ਖਾ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ, ਤੇ ਉਹ ਟੌਪ 2% ਹੀ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਇਲੈਕਸ਼ਨ ਕੈਂਪੇਨ ਲਈ ਫੰਡਿੰਗ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ।
ਬਿਲਕੁਲ ਜੀ, ਜਗਰੂ ਬਰਾੜ ਤੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਪੀਟਰ ਫਾਸਟਬੈਂਡਰ ਆ ਦੋਨੇ ਪੁਰਾਣੇ ਖਿਡਾਰੀ ਆ। ਫਲੀਟ ਫੁੱਟ ਤੋਂ ਮੁਕਾਬਲਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਖਤ ਸੀ ਪਿਛਲੀ ਵਾਰੀ ਵੀ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ, ਤੇ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੁਣ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਇਹ ਗੱਲ ਕਹੀ ਗਈ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੋਸ਼ ਲਾਇਆ, ਇਹ ਬਿਲਕੁਲ ਦੋਸ਼ ਹੈਗਾ। ਤੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਨਾਲ ਇੱਕ ਦੋਸ਼ ਹੋਰ ਵੀ ਜੋੜਿਆ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਟੈਕਸੀ ਇੰਡਸਟਰੀ ਫਿਨਿਸ਼ ਕਰ ਦਿੱਤੀ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਟਰੱਕਿੰਗ ਇੰਡਸਟਰੀ ਫਿਨਿਸ਼ ਕਰਤੀ, ਤੇ ਨਾਲ ਕੰਸਟਰਕਸ਼ਨ ਇੰਡਸਟਰੀ ਫਿਨਿਸ਼ ਕਰ ਦਿੱਤੀ
ਜੀ। ਤੇ ਗੁਰਪ੍ਰੀਤ ਜੀ, ਜਿਹੜੀ ਅਗਲੀ ਹੁਣ ਡਿਬੇਟ ਆ ਸਰੀ ਪੈਨੋਰਾਮਾ ਦੀ, ਪੁਨੀਤ ਸੰਦਰ ਤੇ ਜਿਨੀ ਸਿਮਸ, ਕਿਦਾਂ ਲੱਗਦਾ?
ਪੁਨੀਤ ਸੰਦਰ ਲਿਬਰਲ ਪਾਰਟੀ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਉਮੀਦਵਾਰ ਨੇ ਜੀ ਪੈਨੋਰਾਮਾ ਤੋਂ, ਤੇ ਦੂਜੇ ਪਾਸੇ ਜਿਨੀ ਸਿਮਸ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕਿ ਸਾਬਕਾ ਐਮਪੀ ਆ, ਉਹ ਐਨਡੀਪੀ ਦੇ ਉਮੀਦਵਾਰ ਨੇ। ਇਹ ਵੀ ਦੋਵੇਂ ਔਰਤਾਂ ਨੇ ਜੀ, ਤੇ ਦੋਵੇਂ ਸਾਊਥ ਏਸ਼ੀਅਨ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਔਰਤਾਂ ਨੇ। ਇਹ ਬਹਿਸ ਵੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਕਾਫੀ ਦਿਲਚਸਪ ਰਹਿਣ ਦੀ ਸੰਭਾਵਨਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਦੋਹਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਬੋਲਣ ਦਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਪਤਾ। ਇੱਕ ਯੂਨੀਅਨ ਦੀ ਪ੍ਰਧਾਨ ਰਹਿ ਚੁੱਕੀ ਹੈ, ਦੂਜੀ ਵਕੀਲ ਹੈ ਜੀ। ਤੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਦਿਲਚਸਪ ਹੋਣ ਵਾਲੀ ਹੈ ਜੀ ਇਹ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਡਿਬੇਟ ਆ। ਲਓ ਆਪਾਂ ਹੁਣ 3 ਸਾਹਿਬ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕਰਨ ਲੱਗੇ ਹਾਂ, ਉੱਧਰ ਚੱਲਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਜੀ।
Now we're starting Surrey Panorama. I want to welcome Puneet Sundar and Ginny Sims.
Thank you.
Ms. Sims, you can ask a direct question to your opponent now.
My direct question is going to be related to education. In 2001, when the Liberals ran, they made all kinds of great promises. They were not going to sell BC Rail. They were not going to strip collective agreements. They sold BC Rail. They stripped the teachers' collective agreement. And over the last years, we've seen a degradation in our schools of students' learning conditions. We've seen special needs students denied services. We've seen a government that's been at war with teachers since 2001. And they only realized that they loved education the day the Supreme Court of Canada said that what they did was unconstitutional and unfair to students. My question to my colleague is, how can she stand with a party that for 16 years has denied our kids the supports they need in public education? And will she, unlike the Premier, apologize to parents, teachers, and kids?
I'm very proud to stand with a party that has provided an education system to our kids so that they, when compete worldwide, do the best in the world. That is the party I stand for. I stand for the party that has built, just in Surrey alone, more than 60 schools. I don't stand for a party that never upgraded, seismically upgraded a single school. The only opportunity they had to upgrade a school, what did they do? They upgraded a liquor warehouse. So I'm definitely very proud to not stand with NDP and stand with BC Liberals. I'm proud to stand with a party that identifies where the pressure is. And when there's a pressure, they put in money. And as they did in Surrey, they invested $317 million to create 7,000, 8,000 new school spaces. You talk about apology. I am not going to apologize for all that this government has provided to our kids so that they can compete worldwide. You talk about apology. I want you to apologize for not building a single hospital in 10 years. I want you to apologize for not seismically upgrading a single school for the 10 years that you were in power. I want you to apologize for raising the taxes for these people when you were in power. I want you to apologize for taking Canada to the lowest in job growth, lowest in economic growth, highest unemployment rate. Those are the people whose kids needed to deserve better that your government never provided. I'm very proud to stand with a government that has brought Canada, BC #1 in this country. That is what I'm proud of.
Grown the poverty.
Mrs. Puneet Sundar, now you can ask a direct question.
Well, my question to Ms. Sims is around healthcare. As we had mentioned earlier, and you have heard, NDP did not build a single hospital for the 10 years that they've been in power. We hear that, you talk about how you're going to make healthcare so much better. You haven't accosted for a single penny. I don't see anything in your budget, towards new hospitals or healthcare. You promise making healthcare better. Are those promises going to be the same fake promises your party made in 1990s and did nothing?
To hear that question from a candidate who's standing for a party that broke almost every promise they made, whether it was to do with education, LNG jobs, or breaking collective agreements, or denying our students quality education. I will tell you that maybe you should spend some time reading our platform. Economists have read it, and what they have said is that they see a platform that's as well costed as the Liberal one is. And the costing is there. We have said we will invest in healthcare. We are talking about acute care centres, growing more spaces. And you know something else? And we're going to make sure that we do not privatize our healthcare. We're not going to be a party that is going to allow, just because you've got a big bank account, that you get to go ahead. Tommy Douglas gave this country, and it's the crown in our jewel, our national universal healthcare system. And you know something? We're going to defend that, and we're going to make sure we invest in and improve healthcare, and it's going to happen with a balanced budget. Thank you very much.
बहुत पुरानी सियासतदान ते दूजी वकील ਮੈਨੂੰ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਵਕੀਲ ਸਾਹਿਬਾ ਪੁਰਾਣੇ ਸਿਆਸਤਦਾਨ ਤੇ ਬਹਿਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹਾਵੀ ਪੈਂਦੇ ਜਾਪੇ
ਦੇਖੋ ਜੀ ਇਹ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਬਹਿਸ ਹੈਗੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਹੀ ਵਧੀਆ ਸੀ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਦੋ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਸਟਾਈਲ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇੱਕ ਦੂਜੇ ਨਾਲ ਬਹਿਸੀਆਂ ਜਿਨੀ ਸਿਮਸ ਬਹੁਤ ਧੜੱਲੇਦਾਰ ਸਿਆਸਤਦਾਨ ਨੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਤਿੱਖੇ ਸਵਾਲ ਕੀਤੇ ਦੋਸ਼ ਲਾਏ ਪਰ ਜਿਸ ਤਹਮਲ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਜਿਸ ਠਰਮੇ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਪ੍ਰੀਤ ਸੁੰਦਰ ਨੇ ਜਵਾਬ ਦਿੱਤੇ ਆ ਅੰਕੜਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਹਿਸਾਬ ਨਾਲ ਜਵਾਬ ਦਿੱਤੇ ਆ ਉਹਨੇ ਵਾਕਈ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੈ ਲੱਤ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਆ ਪ੍ਰੀਤ ਸੁੰਦਰ ਦੀ ਉੱਪਰ ਕਰ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਹੈ ਜਿਨੀ ਸਿਮਸ ਦੇ ਵਾਰ-ਵਾਰ ਤਾੜੀਆਂ ਵੱਜਦੀਆਂ ਰਹੀਆਂ ਜਿਹਨਾਂ ਦੀਆਂ ਕਈਆਂ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ
ਤੇ ਅਗਲੀ ਡਿਬੇਟ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਸਰੀ ਨਿਊਟਨ ਤੋਂ ਜਿਹਨੂੰ ਅਸੀਂ ਲੰਬੀ ਦੀ ਲੜਾਈ ਕਹਿ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਉਹ ਹੋਣ ਜਾ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ ਗੁਰਮਿੰਦਰ ਸਿੰਘ ਪ੍ਰਹਾਰ ਤੇ हैरी बैंस साहब जी बिल्कुल जी ये भी जी डिबेट है बहुत ज़्यादा दिलचस्पी देखी जानी है क्योंकि हैरी बैंस होनी बहुत पुराने खिडारी ने दूजे पासे गुरमिंदर प्रहार होनी भी खालसा कॉलेज अमृतसर के पढ़े हुए हैं उत्थों के फेडरेशन के नाल जुड़े हुए हैं इत्थों बाद आके फिर उन्होंने अकाउंटेंसी की है लोगों नाल जुड़े हुए बोलन वो भी करे देखते हैं कि हुण हैरी बैंस के जवाबां मोरे वो किन्ने क टिकदे आ ते प्रहार उन्होंने जवाबां मोरे हैरी बैंस किन्ने क टिकदे आ डिबेट जिहड़ी है शुरू होण जा रही है जी बस लगदा थिन साहब इंट्रोड्यूस करन जा रहे जल्दी जी बिल्कुल हुण ये डिबेट इत्थे शुरू हो जाती है तो जिद्दां असीं गल कर रहे सी कि भावें हैरी बैंस हुणी जितते रहे आ कोई भी उन्होंने टक्कर नहीं दे सकिया पर कहा जाता कि जिन्नी हार्ड टक्कर इस बार गुरमिंदर सिंह प्रहार दे रहा इन्नी भी शायद उन्होंने पहलां कदे मिली
बिल्कुल जी ये आंकड़े दस रहे हैं कि काफ़ी चेंजिस आईयां क्योंकि गुरमिंदर सिंह प्रहार का काफ़ी आधार है लोगों के विच ते उस आधार नूं यूज़ करके हैरी बैंस नूं टक्कर दे रहे हैं पर हैरी बैंस का भी बहुत वड्डा ग्रुप है जी रिश्तेदारी आ यार दोस्त आ ते देखते हैं की करते दोनों जने जी ते डिबेट वाल चलदे
First of all, I want to welcome both candidates, Mr. Harry Banks and Mr. Gurvinder Singh Prahar. Mr. Prahar, now you can crossfire and ask a direct question to Mr. Banks.
My question to Mr. Banks is, I have looked at your platform, NDP is promising all the gold, all the promises in the world to every British Columbian. But when I look at the numbers, you'll be taking away the surpluses that there, and plus you'll be leaving us with $6.5 billion debt to our next generation. Could you please let people know how you're willing to pay for this? Are you going to be increasing taxes? Yes or no?
Let me tell you this. All you have to do is go and ask the Chief of Staff of Gordon Campbell, Martin Brown, Liberal, said that the BC NDP platform is a sound platform. It's a viable platform, fully costed. It wasn't our guy, it's their guy. He's the guy who ran BC Liberal 2 terms. 2 terms. He's the guy who's saying BC NDP platform is the right platform, fully costed, and he said this does his passing marks. That's what he said. And all the other experts have said the same thing. Economists have said the same thing. Except the BC Liberal trying to confuse, trying to come up with numbers, fabricate all kinds of numbers. And you've seen ads on radio, on television. You know, I never used the word L before, but I have to say, for the first time in my fourth term now, I have to say this is the worst government that have spreading so many lies on the air about something that is not even there.
Mr. Vance, it's your turn now to crossfire and ask a question directly to Mr. Parhar.
Yes, Mr. Parhar, if you go back, when Bruce Allen, CKNW, insulted Sikhs, insulted Muslims, wearing burqa and patka, I didn't see you anywhere there. When Christy Clark hired Gwen Morgan, who has said publicly that the immigration is to blame for violence in Toronto and in Calgary, and multiculturalism is to blame for a riot in France and Australia. But Christy Clark hired him as his advisor. And then she went out and canceled, your party canceled the Human Rights Commission. In view of all those, do you agree that canceling Human Rights Commission was a mistake by BC Liberals?
Thank you, Mr. Benz. Sikhs have achieved the most under BC Liberal-led party during their government. This is the first government that has brought up in curriculum grade kindergarten to grade 12 about the Sikhs who fought in World War to put on the world stage that what we have achieved, what we have done for the world peace. Excuse me, let me finish, please. Right? So your answer that we have, you're trying to tell me where I was here, but I was hurt. I was more hurt. Where were you when your colleague, your candidate said that Indo-Canadians are not, they are there to just put the name. They are not there because they don't have the knowledge. They just want to put their name out. Where were you at that time? You are doing it now because media has picked it up. Why did you not raise the voice at that time? Please let me know.
Can you answer the question?
Yes.
Are you in favor of re-establishing Human Rights Commission? Was it a mistake by BC Liberal to cancel it? Answer that question, please.
I am in favor of human rights. And Human Rights Tribunal is actually taking effect right now. Yes, I will support the Human Rights Commission, and this is what the turban stands for. It stands for human rights, and we are all for it.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. ਸਰੀ ਆਰੀਆ ਬੈਂਕਟ ਹਾਲ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਅੱਜ ਡਿਬੇਟ ਦਾ ਸਿੱਧਾ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਰਣ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਲਈ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆ ਰਹੇ ਸੀ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਇੱਥੇ ਸਮਾਪਤ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਫਿਰ ਕਦੇ ਕਿਸੇ ਹੋਰ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਫਿਰ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਹੋਵੇਗੀ।
ਸਤਿ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ ਜੀ।